Hello and welcome. Good evening, viewers. This is Malika Mishra and you're watching Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit.
And I'm your host Himakshi Bahugna, and together we'll be taking up all your stock related queries. So you can WhatsApp us or call us directly. Both the numbers are flashing on your screens right now, viewers. And on the show we are joined by Prashant Tapse, Senior VP Research Analyst Mehta Equities on the fundamentals, and Sarvendra Srivastav, Market Strategist at Five Wave Officials on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Very good evening to everyone.
Yes. So let's get straight to the show. Prashant, first going, before going to the queries, I would like to discuss the stock of the day first on the show. So it is Tata Consumers. On the back of Goldman has upgraded its stance to buy on expectations of inflections in earnings. And also the stock jumped over 8% on the back of this news. So what do you have to say on the counter? How are the fundamentals of Tata Consumer looking like? And are these the correct levels for the investors who are new and who want to enter the space?
I think with respect to the industry, I am very much positive the way how consumer play will be there post this new budget announcement with respect to consumer spending. So I think Tata Consumer will have a lot of volume growth, which will be driven by the consumer spending, and that because of the branded products which Tata Consumer is having. But I am still not comfortable to buy at this point of time because of the valuations again. The company which is trading at almost 80 times P at this point of time, and again price to book value of 5x. So not comfortable to go aggressive to buy at this point of time. But again, I would like to wait for some kind of corrections by any reasons. Again, the stock comes down to 1,000 rupees or below that. That could be a good level for an investors to buy for long term. But again, due to the suddenly a report coming out and the stock going up by 7%, so there can be some kind of a sentimental hike only. So I would like to advise my clients or any clients to wait and watch for a right level.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. With that, now let's go ahead with the first query on the show. So Shashidhar has written to us from Hyderabad saying that he has brought TCS shares at 3,700 and he's bought 400 shares. So should he be holding or selling the counter? So currently it's trading at 3,544 and he is sitting on a loss of over 62,000 is what I can see. And also, Prashant, stock fell significantly in the first week of February. And the IT stocks are seeing a lot of pressure amid the tariff fears. And tonight, it's going to be interesting as Donald Trump will be announcing the tariffs. And just a quick reminder for our viewers that NDTV Profit will be live. So you can catch all the action tonight on NDTV Profit. So, coming back to TCS, how do you see the company's performance, in the near future?
So if you compare Q3 earnings, again, the numbers were really good. The deal which they have done in the Q3 were really on the all-time high. Almost $10 billion was the deal they have cracked down. But obviously, the near-term hurdle will be there with respect to what Trump will be going to do tonight. So I think that will be some kind of sentimental impact on the price. But again, I'm more comfortable to buy at this point of time. Again, if tomorrow there is a gap down opening in the IT index as well as in the TCS, so there can be a 2 to 5% on the worst case scenario, and that would be a right opportunity for a long-term investors again to hold on, buy more and hold it for at least 2 years. So short term there may be some kind of pressure, but again at least for 1 quarter or so. But again, I'm very much positive on the sector as well as on the stock.
Okay, and next up we have another query. K. Ghosh has written to us from Kolkata. He holds 300 shares of Larsen & Toubro at an average price of 1,700. He's saying he wants to sell 50% of his holdings within the next 3 months. He's sitting on a handsome profit of close to 5 lakh rupees and above. He, Prashant, from the point of view of how L&T has been trading recently, it was almost flat today, but it has not had a bad run in the past couple of months, especially from the point of view, from the point where markets actually generally started falling. How do you view the stock, and would you recommend Ghosh to sell his at least 50% of his stake in L&T?
I think yes, with respect to fundamentals, again, I think Q4 earnings will not so be good for a infrastructure company like L&T. So if there is an opportunity for him to sell, I think he can sell it at this point of time. At least 200 rupees fall from the current level I am expecting on the basis of selling pressure. But both on the fundamental as well as on technicals, I think there can be some kind of consolidation can be seen and even pressure on the stock. So my recommendation would be sell at this point of time.
Okay, so that's a sell on L&T is what Prashant is suggesting. With that, we have a caller joining us from Hyderabad. Hi, Shrikant. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, how can I help you on the show today?
Madam, mid-cap lo defense and recycling themes, madam.
Okay.
Stocks recommendations, 10 years holding, madam.
10
2
years?
lakhs investment. Yes, madam.
All right, all right. So, Prashant...
two stocks, madam. Defense lo 2 stocks.
Yes.
Recycling lo 2 stocks, madam.
All right,
Mid-cap
all right.
and small cap.
Understood,
Yes,
understood, Shrikant, understood. Prashant, a 2 lakh corpus, and he's looking for mid-cap, stock recommendations in the defense and recycling space. So, what are your top 2 picks there?
So I think when he is talking about mid cap, there can be some kind of risk associated with the volatility in the market as well as in the selling pressure. So in the defense space, again in the mid cap space, Zen Technology can be one stock I would like to recommend him for at least for 5 to 10 years, as he has already mentioned. He would like to hold it for that. So I think this company is really doing great with respect to defense and as well as in the government orders. And even a lot of export orders are getting into this sector. So I think Zen Technology would be the one stock for him to be on the defense sector. Again, on the recycling, I think I would like to go with the water recycling. So Enviro Infra would be the second stock, which is a small cap company, which can be a good stock for him for at least 2 to 3 years from the current levels. Obviously, he's trying to hold it for 5 to 10 years. So I think Enviro can do a great in terms of giving him a very conservative long-term returns. So these 2 stocks can be recommended for him.
All right, thanks for that view, Prashant. I'm sure, Shrikant will be happy to know all these stocks that you've recommended there. With that, let's go across to a WhatsApp query written to us from Homyal from Mumbai. So he's saying that in the past 20 days, he has purchased 300 shares of Ashapura Minechem at an average price of 355 per share. Now, the stock has declined over 40% from its 52-week high of 571. So he wants to know the short-term and long-term outlook on the stock, and also, is it the right time to accumulate the stock? And currently, it's trading at 380, and but was an up in trade today over 3%. So, talking about the fundamentals of Ashapura Minechem, are you positive on this company, Prashant?
Yes, very positive on the company with a very decent ratios and with respect to fundamentals. With respect to price, very comfortable to start accumulating at this point of time. I think the stock is trying to get a lot of buying traction from the current markets. The stock has actually recovered a lot from the recent lows. So I think that can be one very positive momentum where the stock is showing very strong momentum. But on the fundamental side, again, it is into multiple sectors, almost like edible oil, metal to medicine, cement, and a lot of activities where I think all the conglomerate businesses model can give this stock a very good fundamental view for long term. So overall, the target can be anywhere between 440 and 450 for a long term investor, and this price would be a right price to start accumulating.
Right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. Let's go across to another WhatsApp query. So John is writing to us from Puducherry, saying that he wants to invest in IOL Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals for the next 2 years. So is it the right time to enter? And currently it's trading at 63, was down in trade today over 0.5%. So, but if I look at the charts, Prashant, since January, the stock has seen a beating and it's in a downward trend. So what suggestion do you have for John? Is it advisable to hold this counter for long term?
Very decent company, but with respect to very ratios, fundamental, not so comfortable to go aggressive at this point of time. Again, 55, 60 can be a range for him to wait and watch and then accumulate the stock for a long-term investment. Time being, again, it's one of the largest painkiller company in globally, which is manufacturing. So I think that can be only a trigger for the stock to be on the buying side. But with respect to price action, I think he has to wait and watch for 58 and 60. That can be a good level for him to buy. With respect to ratios and fundamentals, still not so comfortable to go ahead aggressively.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. We have another WhatsApp query. So Alok has written to us from Kolkata saying that he's bought 50 shares on 2nd of October, now of Refex at 470 with loss of nearly 4,000 at present. So should he be holding or selling, and he's looking for a mid-term horizon. So currently the stock is trading at 410. He bought it at 470. The stock was up in trade today over 4%. So are you positive on Refex as well? Are the fundamentals looking promising to you?
Yeah, very promising. The way they are doing business in the refrigerator gases, I think this is the only company in India which is aggressively moving into these gases production. So I think with respect to that, the premium of valuation, which is trading at almost 35 per P, is very much justified for the stock. And today it has been in the very upside of 4%. So it shows very strong momentum with respect to volume. Technically also, I feel the stock is about to give some kind of trigger towards 440 and 450 levels for a short-term period as a target. So I think it's a hold for him for short term.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. With that, let's go across to a caller joining us from Bengaluru. Hi, Vishwanath. Good evening.
Good evening, madam. My name is Vishwanath.
Yes.
Thanks for connecting.
Yes. Please go ahead.
My query is,
yeah.
I have PVR Inox 20 shares at average of 1,225.
Right.
I purchased this almost 1.5 years back. So I don't know what to do about this now. Should I exit or add on some quantities now?
And are you a long-term investor, Vishwanath?
Used to be, for a while I used to work for a share market long term, but now I stopped it. So that's why I want to see it and then make a decision.
All right, Vishwanath. We'll get your query solved. So, Prashant, Vishwanath has 20 shares of PVR Inox at 1,225 and currently it's trading at 968 and he's sitting on a loss of over 5,000 there. So what suggestions do you have for Vishwanath?
Despite being the market leader in terms of movie distribution and movie showcase, so I think the OTT market is eating a lot of business of PVR INR in a shorter period of time or even on the long-term basis. So I am continuously being very negative on the stock since the stock was trading at 1,200 rupees. So I think at that point of time he has bought the stock. If I would like to recommend him to just exit the stock at this point of time, there will be a lot of selling pressure once the stock comes to 1,000 rupees. So overall, a sell recommendation from current point of levels, but overall very negative on the industry as well as the stock.
All right, thanks for that view. And viewers, Sarvendra Srivastav, our technical guest, is joining us on the phone line today. So he'll be answering all your queries, but on the phone line for the meanwhile. So Sarvendra, if you can hear me, we were discussing about PVR Inox stock. So what suggestions do you have for our caller Vishwanath, who is holding 20 shares currently? Are the charts looking positive for the counter?
Yeah, very good evening to all of you and to all the viewers. I think there's some technical glitch today in our place. Lots of network issues there, so I have to join on the phone line.
No worries,
so
no worries.
I think the stock has gone down on low volumes, so we would definitely look for a pullback at least. In that pullback, probably he might end up close to his price. But I doubt that the entire price will come. I think 1150, 1200 is what is doable in the bounce. But my suggestion to him will be in that bounce to try and exit with the least possible mark-to-market that he can afford. And it's a sell-on-rise stock. Looking at what it has done over the last few months and quarters, I think the quarterly, monthly setups are not looking very, very encouraging at the moment. So I would advise him to book out on a bounce to exit.
All right, Sarvendra, your suggestion on PVR Inox is a sell on the counter. So with that, we have a WhatsApp query from Bengaluru. Rashmi is writing to us saying that she has bought Swiggy shares, actually bought 25 shares at 585 and currently sitting on a loss of almost 6,000 there. So should she be holding it or averaging it out, looking for a 6 to 8 months holding? So Sarvendra, I'll come straight to you. How are the fundamental how are the charts faring on Swiggy? Also, is it advisable for her to stay invested for another 6 to 8 months?
See, the data here, I'm afraid the data is pretty limited here. So we've got data from early 24 on this one, and from there, if you can see, it's been in a constant decline. This was the first month where you got a flat close. So last couple of weeks are encouraging. I can give her the silver lining that around 320, 300, it's based out over the last 3-6 months. So I think the worst possibly could be in the price as long as you don't go much below 300, 320 support areas. And in a pullback, I think this should target its long-term averages, which would be close to in the region of around 400, 420. So I think a bounce is definitely expected here, as long as we are not going much below 300.
Okay. And now we have another caller. Krishna is joining us from Bengaluru. Hi, Krishna. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Today I just want to ask about Kalyan Jewellers. I have 170 shares. I purchased at 231 rupees.
Okay.
So I'm sitting on a profit of close to 49,000.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to know technicals because the price has come down from 795 range to this range currently, 400 and something range.
511.
So whether
yeah.
it will go back, whether it will go back to that range or I can hold for another 2 more years.
Understood. Got it. So, and you're also sitting on a profit of 67,000 rupees at the moment, right?
Yeah, close that. That is the profit.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Prashant, I'd like to take your view on this. Krishna currently holds 200 shares of Kalyan Jewellers at 176 rupees a piece, and he's been able to make handsome profits for himself. And the stock is now trading around 511. But he did mention the dip that the stock price has seen recently. What would your view be with regards to Krishna's intention of holding the stock for the next 2 years? Should he book his profits partially or not? And how do you see the price movement changing?
I think yes, 50% partial booking can be advised to him at this point of time. Again, I think with respect to valuations, the companies are trading at very peak valuation with almost 80 P and almost 12 price to book valuations. So I think not comfortable to have a very aggressive target from current levels, but there can be some kind of bounce where he can also use some kind of that bounce to book more profit. But currently 50% plus profit booking can be advised to him on a fundamental valuation basis.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. Let's go across to a caller joining us from Himachal Pradesh. Hi, Paramjeet. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, how can we help you, Paramjeet?
I'm having Stylam Industries,
Okay.
1,000 shares of Stylam Industries.
Okay.
At the
1,000
rate of,
shares.
yes.
Okay, okay.
At the rate of 1670.
All right.
Want to know long-term view of this.
Okay. Prashant, coming to you on the long-term aspect, currently it's trading at 1692, and Paramjeet is sitting on a profit of almost 22,000. There's what I can see. But the stock was down in trade today over 1%. Are you positive on this company?
I'm very positive on the industry, which is almost into the lamination of cardboards and a lot of human house requirements. So I think with that sector is going very fast, and with respect to the fundamental ratios in the company, very comfortable at this point of time with ROC of almost 33%, ROE of almost 27%. Again, with respect to valuations, again, very comfortable to have a buy and hold view from current levels. Maybe there can be some kind of profit booking in the near term, but obviously I think with Q4 earnings being expected to be very positive from the current levels, the stock can go to 1750 and 1800 in a very short period of time, and that can also be used as a target to book some profit. So overall positive, but book profits at higher levels.
All right, thanks for that view. Let's go across to a caller joining us from Bengaluru. Hi, Mahadev. Good evening. Mahadev, am I audible?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead with the query.
Hello?
Yes, Mahadev, we can hear you. Please go ahead with the query.
Cable stocks recommendations, madam, mid cap.
Okay. And for how long are you willing to hold?
5 years, madam.
5 years. All right. Prashant,
And madam, Finolex Chemicals, madam, long term is a good stock, madam.
which stock, Mahadev?
Finolex Chemicals.
Okay, okay. But I'm afraid that we'll be able to take only one query at a time. We'll stick to the cable stock recommendations there. Prashant, coming to you, since he's looking for a 5-year horizon. So do you have any recommendations there in the cable space? Because, the cable space is definitely picking up the momentum and it's doing really well. So what suggestions do you have there?
So we have seen from last 2 months, there are a lot of new entrance from Ultratech as well as from Adani, so that which has disturbed some kind of cable business in terms of their long-term outlook. But I would like to advise him to buy the large cap, which is almost like KEI or otherwise Polycap. These two can be a stock because I think with respect to price action, those kind of new entrants from the Ultratech as well as from the Adani, the price action is already taken. So for these two stocks can be bifurcated into 50-50 and buy more this for long-term investments.
All right, and Sarvendra, coming to you, do you also have any picks for the short term in the cable space?
Yeah, I think cable names will be, they trade very low volumes and they are slightly high beta. So in such a scenario, in fact, today is the day, I think today is the Liberation Day. So I would definitely want to just see as to what happens tonight, and then possibly tomorrow morning we can see what we want to do. So I would want to not recommend anything for tomorrow's session.
All right, Sarvendra, and rightly said that today is the D-Day. Everything will be decided, and let's see what the future holds for us. Now let's go across to a caller joining us from Dubai. Hi Kareem, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, how can we help you on the show?
I'm calling from Dubai.
Yeah.
I'm holding 500 stocks of Finolex Cables.
Okay.
I bought the price of 1,000, I think 1,500 I have bought.
Okay.
Now the price is all 950, I believe.
Yeah.
So should I continue or I have to?
All right, Kareem, because I can see that you are sitting on a loss of almost 3 lakh rupees there. And currently the stock is trading at 906. Prashant, I'll come to you on this one. Finolex Cable stock outlook is actually mixed with the recent price fluctuations. So, and the companies, if I talk about the company share price, that has also seen a decline from its 52-week high. So, what suggestion do you have for Kareem? Should he be booking his losses currently, or should he stay invested in it?
See, if he's a long-term investor, I would like to advise him to add more at this point of time and wait for at least for 1 or 2 years. I think you will have a good rally in these cable businesses. Earlier we discussed about Polycap, KEI. I think in the same segment, Finolex Cables can also do very well. So overall, with respect to valuation, very much comfortable when we compare to the other two big leaders. This stock is almost trading at 25p and the other two stocks are trading at 40p. So there can be some kind of discounted player and fast mover player in the long term. So overall, very positive on the stock. The company has a very large market share in the wire businesses, almost 20% plus. So I think that can play well in the long term. So overall, bullish, hold, accumulate and wait for the target.
All right, Prashant, thanks for that. And Sarvendra, coming to you, since you said that, you will be waiting for the D-Day today, but do you still have any recommendation on the stock? How are the charts faring for short term?
Yeah, I think short term we are definitely on the weaker side. Only these last couple of days we've had a decent bounce, but I think short to medium term we are still a little weak on the stock. So I would, as I said, just give it a day or two and then possibly come with a more clearer stance.
Now we have another caller. Avdesh is calling us. Hi Avdesh, you're calling us from Chennai. How are you doing and what's your question?
Hello ma'am, I'm fine and how are you?
I'm good. What's your question, Avdesh?
My question is that ma'am, I have Shyam Metallics and Energy.
Okay.
At the price of 845, 39 shares.
Mm-hmm.
And ma'am, I am holding this stock from November 2024. Okay. And I want to know, can I hold this stock for long term?
Understood.
Is fundamental and valuation is good for this stock?
Okay, got it. Sarvendra, I'd like to take this query to you. Avdesh currently holds 39 shares of Shyam Metallics and Energy at 845 rupees a piece. He's been holding these 39 shares since November last year. The stock is now trading around 911 and has risen close to 45% in the last 1 year. My question to you would be, as a technical expert, do you see this rally imitate in the next 1 year going forward as well? What is the kind of performance that you are sort of picking up on this particular counter?
I heard the name right, Shyam Metallics and Energy, right?
Correct, that's right.
See, I think the stock is behaving well compared to the overall markets, and especially looks like a decent outperformer at the moment. So I think as long as that outperformance continues, you would kind of want to stay in the trade. it is always advisable that if you have a good trade, a winning trade, you try trade with the trailing stop loss. So I can tell him that as long as this stays above 860, 870, I think the bias and the momentum is on the upside. So I think next 3 to 6 months, I think I would see the stock possibly going towards 1,000, 1,050 also. So I think you should hold.
All right, so that's a hold on Shyam Metallic is what Sarvendra is suggesting. Now with that, viewers will have to slip into a short break. Keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp and call in. We'll be right back for Ask Profit. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
We have requested the management to come and speak to us. They asked us, what questions will you ask? We've sent it to them. They don't want to answer it, so then let's put it to our viewers as well.
7 key questions, right? How is it that 2,000 crore goes unnoticed by all of these auditors?
Is seeking more information on the trades and the all the transaction which has happened from the exchanges, both NSE and BSE.
The Reserve Bank of India's supervisory officers, they are seeking compliance reports on their foreign currency borrowings by these banks.
The DSS is actively engaging with the Reserve Bank of India to sort of ensure the thorough examination of the matter. And
IndusInd Bank, as part of its internal review, had found that certain aspects of its derivatives portfolio was not meeting the standard that was set by the Reserve Bank of India.
Real estate might look to sell their paper business to ITC. So that would be an interesting deal, not too big for ITC, but from AB Real Estate's perspective currently.
On the 20th, he reported this in his segment Heard on the Street, which runs at 2:30 p.m. every day.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims?
viewers, you're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit, and I'm your host Himakshi Bahugna. And joining us on the show are Prashant Tapse and Sarvendra. Our guests will be answering all your fundamental and technical queries. So please pick up your phones and call us right away. The numbers are flashing on your screens right now. With that, let's go across to a caller calling us from Chennai. Hi Narayan, good evening. Okay, so I think we've lost the line there, but we have Narayan's query with us. He's asking whether it's the right time to buy Shriram Finance, and he's looking for a long-term view on the counter. Prashant, coming straight to you, currently it's trading at 639. So are these the correct levels to enter Shriram Finance?
I think yes, valuations are very much comfortable with the long-term averages. That gives me a lot of positivity in the stock to buy at this point of time. There may be some kind of dip in the current market due to volatility, but that can be an opportunity for him to add more at the lower levels. With respect to the NBFC as a business, I expect the growth in the credit market will be good in the first half of the next financial year. So I think that can bring a lot of price action also. So overall, very bullish on the stock. At least with a 720 and 750 target for next 3 to 6 months, he can buy more at this point of time.
Okay, so you can buy more of Shriram Finance at this point of time is what Prashant is suggesting. With that, we have a caller joining us from Pune. Hi Praveen, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, how can we help you on the show today?
Query is regarding RailTel Corporation. I have about 20 shares at 520. 520. So I want to see this price when it's possible.
Okay, and are you a long-term investor or a short-term investor?
No, actually I want to see. I will get out whenever this. I will get my back.
No, are you willing to hold this for long-term,
Yes.
Praveen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Prashant, again, a fundamental query on this show. So, he bought RailTel Corp shares at 520 and currently it's trading at 307. And if I look at the charts, so since, January, it has fallen significantly. So what suggestions do you have for our caller Praveen? Should he be holding it for another 2 to 3 years?
One should understand the reason why the stock has come down. That was mainly because of valuations, because in January, the stock was almost trading at a very high P, which is almost like 60, 65, which was not justified with respect to their price action, as well as the valuation, as well as the execution with respect to their earnings presentation. So I think that was the only reason why stock has come down. But from now again, one should focus more on the earnings show, which is on the Q4 earnings. So that would be the right way to understand this company. Overall, fundamentally strong company, which is into railway again. So I think all the technology infrastructure, which is going to be spent by the government, so that goes maximum to RailTel. So long-term outlook is very good, but short-term there can be some kind of volatility because of the execution risk, which is these companies are facing. Q4 earnings should be a wait and watch, and then add more overall fundamental long-term good.
Okay, understood. And now we have another caller. Shankar is calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Shankar. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
How are you doing, Shankar?
Ma'am, KPIT Technology,
Okay.
150 quantity.
Understood.
Average price 1,350.
Okay.
Profit loss, ma'am. World or extra share buy, ma'am. 9 months short term, ma'am.
9 months short term. Okay, understood. Prashant, I'd like to take this view quickly from you. Shankar currently holds 150 shares of KPIT Tech at 1,350 rupees a piece. The stock was up close to 3% in trade today and is now trading around 1,300 levels or so. The company has shown strong growth in the electric vehicle segment as well. What do what's your sense on the performance of the company? Does it make a prudent investment choice for Shankar, and should he hold on to his shares for the next 9 months?
Short term, I think the stock will go a lot of volatile because of its exposure to the automobile industry globally. The company is servicing a lot of global companies with respect to their technology software requirements. So that will keep this stock under pressure. Even the Q3 earnings were very much stable. So Q4 earnings is a wait and watch for me to see how the future trend goes away. So I think overall he's almost near to his profits, his cost. So I think If the stock goes above 1,400, I think that can be a good level for him to book profit for a short term. So overall hold and book profits at 1,400.
So overall, it's a hold on KPIT Tech. And Sarvendra, since you're back with us on the phone line, I'd also like to get your view on KPIT Tech, and if you could substantiate and give us your view on the IT sector as well, because with Trump tariffs right around the corner, in fact, how do you see IT responding to this? Because a couple of brokerages have come out and downgraded the entire space for, so to say, over FY26. What's your sense on KPIT, and should viewers go and invest in the IT space going forward?
Yeah, I'll start with the Nifty IT index itself. So I think we are definitely at a very critical juncture as far as the Nifty IT is concerned, and I think it's got absolute crucial supports in this region of around 35,000. So right now we are trading somewhere around 36,200. So for some reason, if we were to break and close below 35,000 on the Nifty IT, then I think definitely we are looking in for some more downside on that index and on the sector as a whole. But coming to KPIT, I think we had a very decent, almost 30-35% correction of the highs. We are close to, I think, around 1900 levels, slightly more than that. We are close from 1900. We went all the way now almost back towards the 1200 mark. So that's almost a 40% shave off from the highs. So I think definitely, as I said for the couple of previous talks also, that there are always a case for a good bounce once you are so oversold. So I would say that in the short term, 1 to 3 months, I would give him a view. I think we can have a bounce towards 1500. So 1500, 1530 is what I can see as a bounce coming in, as long as the stock stays above 1260, 1270. So I would say that trade for 1 to 3 months, 1260 is your marker. If it goes below that, then the case for the bounce is ruled out. Else, I say 15 to 1530 is possible.
All right, 15 to 1530 is possible, and 1260 is the stop loss, is what Sarvendra is suggesting on KPIT Tech. With that, let's go across to a caller joining us from Bengaluru. Hi, Rishi. Good evening.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, please go ahead with the query.
My query is regarding the PSU stocks. Like I have got all the 5 major PSU stocks like Bank of India, Union Bank, Canara Bank, PNB, and as well as Bank of Baroda in my portfolio. Now, because of the recent correction in these stocks, I kind of started doing the average, and now I end up with 30% of my portfolio loaded with this PSU bank. So my query is it the right time to offload, or should I wait for some more gain before I bring it down to 15% or maybe 10% of my total portfolio?
All right. Prashant, if you could take that one, is it the right time to offload? Because he has like a full PSU bank basket there. So what suggestion do you have for Rishi?
So overall, with respect to sector, PSU banks, I'm very much positive at this point of time, because the way how RBI has given a lot of liquidity support from last 2 months. So I think that can be, a fruitful for these banks in next 1 quarter. So I don't recommend him to exit anything at this point of time. But one risk what he has taken already is having a more weightage on PSU banks in his portfolio. That can be one reason where I would like to advise him at least go with 2 or 3 stocks out of his holding with large market cap, so that the risk in the sector as well as the positivity in the sector can be captured in the first 3 stocks. So with respect to market cap, all the 5, the last 2 can be exited, and first 3 stocks can be held for at least 3 to 6 months. And I'm expecting a good momentum in the PSU stock from next 1 or 2 quarters.
All right. I hope, Rishi, your query has been answered. And Sarvendra, I'd also come to you on the technical front. Do you have any strong 3 picks in the PSU bank space?
Yeah, watching the Nifty PSU index, banking index very closely, and I think it's just below its long-term 200-day marker. So that marker is around 6,400. So to go slightly overweight on the sector, I would want it to break and hold above 6,400. So it's a conditional buy for me. PSUs, especially the banking names, conditional buys for me. And if I have to pick one, not 3, I would always go with the leader, which is SBI.
Okay, got it. And now we have a caller. Munir is joining us on the phone line from Chennai. Hi, Munir. Good evening.
Hi, madam. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I just want to... Yes, madam. I'm fine, madam.
Yes, please.
Yes, madam. Yes, I just want to know the short-term outlook for Infosys share, madam, because the stock being corrected a lot. I just want to know, is it the right time to enter into the stock for short-term?
Okay, and you have not invested in Infosys yet, right?
No, madam. I'm just planning to invest in IT stocks because of the recent correction. So I just want to know the outlook of the share.
Okay, got it. Prashant, let's talk about Infosys. Munir has some interest in investing in Infosys, and his argument is the fact that although we spoke about IT just a while back with Sarvendra, I'd like to get your view on Infosys, because I have often noticed that Infosys tends to either be the top gainer or the loser, or the top Nifty 50 contributor or the loser, and it's always so volatile. We either see on the upside or the downside. For an investor like Munir, who thinks that Infosys might be currently trading at a discounted price, would you suggest this as a right time to enter from the point of view of making profits in the near future?
Yes, he's asking this question at the right point of time, because we are waiting for the D-Day from the Trump action, so which can have some kind of very meaningful impact on the IT as a sector. So I would like to advise him to wait and watch, let the dust get settled with respect to Trump action tonight. So that will give some kind of 2 to 5% momentum on the upside, or 2 to 5% on the downside. So if he get a downside of 2 to 5%, that can be a good level for him to average out and buy more at this point of time. But again, not for short term, because again, short term there can be some kind of pressure in the big deals which Infosys, TCS are going to do. There can be some kind of negativity in that. But long term, obviously, yes, it is trading at a long term average below that. And again, I think that can be a good discounting opportunity for an investor to buy Infosys at this point of time. So wait and watch for at least 1 or 2 days. Let the dust get settled. Let the stock come down if there is some kind of negative news. So overall, it's a buy call, but wait and watch.
All right. Thanks for that view. Let's go across to a caller joining us from Noida. Hi, Sanjay.
Hello.
Yes. How can we help you on the show today?
I was looking at the shares of Patel Engineering at the rate of 50.
Okay.
So what is fundamental outlook?
Okay, so a fundamental outlook on Patel Engineering, and Sanjay has bought 1,500 shares at 52 apiece. Currently, the stock is trading at 40 and was up in trade today over 1%, and he is sitting on a loss of almost 17,000 there. Prashant, the stock has experienced a decline from its 52-week high of 74. So what suggestions do you have for Sanjay? Are you optimistic on the counter?
Optimistic with respect to valuation, yes. The stock is trading at almost below 10p, and even the price to book valuation is below 1. So that is giving some kind of very comfort level for an investor to hold it and wait for some short term to medium term. So overall, now everything depends on the earnings show. I think Q4 earnings should be at least better than Q3 earnings. That will give some kind of bounce back. But I'm not comfortably to say him to get this own target, which is the cost of his buying. There may be some kind of time taken to reach his target, but with a 1 or 2 year view, I think he can hold it for the stock.
Okay, got it. And now we have another caller. Tejpal is joining us on the phone line from Hyderabad. Hi, Tejpal. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Most welcome. What's your question today?
I'm holding 15,000 shares of Lokesh Machine Tools.
Okay.
This is basically a Hyderabadi company. Recently, they have ventured into defense through ASMI machine gun, which has been like a sensation a while ago. It has fallen down a lot with recent sanctions, but I think it's only temporary. I think it's very undervalued company. I want to hold this for next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, okay. And so then what would you like to know from our experts today?
Fundamentally, I want to know what should I be doing? Should I be adding more shares, or should I be holding this for some time?
Okay. And how long ago did you purchase these 15,000 shares? Because that's a big bank of shares.
Yeah, I've been accumulating since the last 15 days at default.
Oh, okay. So what I notice is that you're pretty confident about Lokesh Machines, and you've very well read about the company as well, because 15,000 shares is not a small amount, cannot be ignored, and you've been accumulating them quite recently. So let's get this query answered. Sarvendra, I'll take this one to you. Tejpal has been accumulating 15,000 shares of this particular company called Lokesh Machines, and it's been foraying into the defense sector, as he mentioned. And In 15 days itself, he's made a handsome profit of 75,000 rupees. I wonder how that profit escalate in your view in the long term. Do you suggest him to add more units, and what's your outlook on this particular company?
See, right now it's more in upper circuits, and I think 5% kind of upper circuits is what I can see on the charts coming on this one. But the stock has been very, very volatile, and when it was trading also, I think at that point in time also the volumes were fairly thin, which was just 30,000-40,000 shares a day in the last few months. And earlier also, if you go, you would see that the stock does not trade that well in terms of number of stocks. So I will be a devil's advocate here. I from his chat, I could see that he is very confident here and has not done a lot of homework. But I can give him one point to look at, where he just a microscope here, and just tell him that just see, institutions have sold the stock completely and they don't own it. So that tells me that the quality here is suspect. So DIs, FIs are all zero here almost. They've sold everything that they had, little bit. So I think that's the quality is suspect here to me. I don't know, he has done his homework, but looking on face of it, to me, if the institutional investors have shunned any stock, there's definitely something cooking there, something wrong.
All right. Thanks, Arvendra, for that insights there. Now, let's go across to a caller joining us from Mysuru. Hi, Kaushik.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. How can we help you on the show today?
Ma'am, JK paper, 350 quantity, average price 370, January month buy, ma'am, profit loss, ma'am, old or extra share buy, ma'am.
Okay. So, Sarvendra, since it's a short-term query, Kaushik had bought JK Papers shares at 378. Currently, it's trading at 326 and was up in trade today over 1%. But the stock is slightly recovering from hitting lower circuits. So, what suggestions do you have for Kaushik there?
See, there was definitely a limited amount of panic that I can see here, which selling kind of a climax here, and then post that first green shoots of recovery. So I like the short-term setup. So higher tops, higher bottoms already in place. You would get confirmations once you break past 336, 337. I think you will gain more strength. Definitely a pullback towards the longer-term markers at around 400 is definitely doable here. So I would say that as long as we hold the 300 mark, I think as long as we hold above 300, I think we are pulling back towards 400 for the next 1 to 3 months.
All right. Thanks for that view, Sarvendra. And JK Papers, talking about the fundamentals of the company. Prashant, what suggestion do you have there?
Very positive. The stock has corrected well and the valuations are very much justifiable right now to have a fresh entry, as well as someone who is holding it with a less than 10 PE and price to book value almost like 1, and with the ratios of almost ROC and ROE almost 25% plus. So very good in terms of valuation and matrix. So I am very much bullish on this stock right now. I think even Q4 earnings can give some kind of very good EBITDA margin expansion. So that will be one trigger for the stock to go to its near-term target, almost like 400, which is matching my colleagues' my guest target of 400. So for me, it's a hold with a target of 400.
Okay, got it. And now we will go across to another caller. Sharad is calling us from Patna. Hi, Sharad. Good evening.
Good evening. My call is regarding IndiGo. I want to invest in that. Is this right time to invest in it?
Okay, and Sharad, just quickly, I'd like to understand your reason behind being interested in IndiGo. Why did you choose
Tourism is
IndiGo?
on the rise, so I think this will definitely play their story.
Okay, understood. Got it. Prashant, I'd like to know your view on IndiGo. How do you see it trade? Because, Sharad is betting on this particular stock, or is planning to bet on IndiGo basis his idea that tourism is a booming sector and it is going to gain more traction. Do you see IndiGo being a recipient of that and a beneficiary henceforth in the stock market as well?
Yes, it is playing like a proxy for the tourism industry in India. Obviously, every 5 minutes there is one flight of IndiGo flying anywhere in the world. So I think that will give a lot of market share, almost 60-62%. That gives a very strong approach towards the long-term investor. But again, short-term, there can be some kind of here and there with respect to profit booking activities, or promoters coming into market selling some 2 to 3% stake every quarter. They do that, so that time would be the right time to accumulate if there is some kind of QIB or some kind of OFS in the market. So the stock will react to those kind of news. So that can be a right time for him to buy more. Long term, obviously, there is no timing for the stock. I think the stock can do 6,000 next 6 months to 1 year. But again, right time today, I may have some kind of questions immediately in next 1 week or 10 days with respect to the Q4 earnings. There can be some kind of OFS win announced by the promoters, and that can bring the stock down by 5-10%. So if there are some kind of possibilities of OFS, that day would be the right time for him to buy the stock for long term.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant, on Interglobe Aviation. Now, let's go across to a caller joining us from Coimbatore. Hi, Keshav. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening.
Yes. How can we help you?
Yeah. This is regarding IndusInd Bank. I'm holding 1415 shares.
Yes.
And the average is 798.38. Actually,
right.
Initially I had it for 948. Then today I averaged it.
Okay.
So I'd like to know for the next, at least for the 1 quarter, how it would be. I'm ready to hold for next 1 or 2 years, but at least I would like to see the progress.
All right. Prashant, I'll come to you. Today only sources told NDTV Profit that PwC has submitted its audit report, to IndusInd Bank's board, and the report contains details of investigation into accounting discrepancies at the bank. And our board is to review the findings to decide on further course of action. And board is also awaiting details of Grant Thornton audit. So on the back of all of this, how are the fundamentals of the company? Are you positive? And what suggestion do you have for the investors who are becoming a bit of jittery, around this company?
I think with respect to valuations and the fundamentals, very much strong, because I think it's a top 10 bank in India and doing well. That was one reason why the stock has been very much in the negative phase, which we all know with respect to the currency swap mismanagement. So that was one of kind of news for the stock in the history from last 10 years, where the stock has reacted like this. So if PwC or any other agency will give a good report on that, I think that can be a very positive support for the company, for the bank. Even RBI has shown some kind of stable and strong outlook for the business fundamentals with respect to their banking operations. So overall, I'm very much positive. There can be some kind of headlines which can bring the stock down to 650 or 620 levels. That can also be a right level for him to add for a long term. Short term, the stock can react on reports which are going to make some headlines in very shorter period of time. My overall target would be almost like 780 to 800 rupees based on the technicals as well as on the news which are making some headlines.
Okay, and let's quickly take up another query. Srinivas has written to us from Hyderabad. He currently holds the 240 shares of Bharat Electronics Limited at 301 rupee a piece. The stock is now trading around 282, had seen a dip of close to 3% in trade today. The order book of this particular company stands at 71,650 crore as of March 2024, and it recently bagged a significant order from the Indian Air Force as well. Prashant, quick view on Bharat Electronics. Do you recommend Srinivas to hold his shares, or what should he do?
Long term, yes, but short term, one should understand the reason why the stock was down today. There was some kind of miss in terms of estimates where they were targeting some kind of a good order book for this financial year. They have for ending of this financial year, but they have missed almost like 7 to 8% with respect to their target for having a good order book for financial year 2025. That was one reason for the stock to come down. But again, with respect to valuations, again, I'm not so comfortable for a aggressive buy at this point of time. Almost 40p and price to book is almost like 11x. So not comfortable for a very strong buy at this point of time. I would like to wait and watch how Q4 earnings will turn out, and that will give some kind of trend action for the stock.
Okay, Prashant, thank you so much for that view and giving us your time. And Sarvendra, thank you so much for trying to stay connected either on the call or through this video. So thank you so much. And viewers, I thank you for being patient. And Please stay tuned to NDTV Profit as we bring you all the latest updates and news. You can send in your queries on the WhatsApp numbers as we take them live on Ask Profit, both in the morning as well as in the evening. And do not forget to stay tuned to NDTV Profit as we cover the mega tariff announcement happening from 1:30 tonight.
He sold most of his stock, 80%, as on that date.
We have requested the management to come and speak to us. They asked us, what questions will you ask? We've sent it to them. They don't want to answer it, so then let's put it to our viewers as well.
7 key questions, right? How is it that 2,000 crore goes unnoticed by all of these auditors?
Is seeking more information on the trades and the all the transaction which has happened from the exchanges, both NSE and BSE.
The Reserve Bank of India's supervisory officers, they are seeking compliance reports on their foreign currency borrowings by these banks.
The DSS is, actively engaging with the Reserve Bank of India to sort of ensure the thorough examination of the matter. And
IndusInd Bank, as part of its internal review, had found that certain aspects of its derivatives portfolio was not meeting the standard that was set by the Reserve Bank of India.
Real estate might look to sell their paper business to ITC. So that would be an interesting deal, not too big for ITC, but from AB Real Estate's perspective currently.
On the 20th, he reported this in his segment Heard on the Street, which runs at 2:30 p.m. every day.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Benchmark indices adopt a cautious stance as Trump-led tariffs take effect tonight. The Nifty climbs past 23,300, while the Sensex surges 500 points to close above 76,600. Sectoral indices rally across the board, with realty and IT rebounding strongly from yesterday's losses. Global markets hold their breath as the US prepares to impose reciprocal tariffs in just a few hours from now. A report by the Office of the US Trade Representative highlights India's tariff and non-tariff barriers on imports. European markets slump in anticipation, while US markets edge lower, bracing for impact. External auditor PwC has submitted its report on accounting discrepancies at IndusInd Bank to the lenders board, as sources tell NDTV Profit that the report outlining the identified irregularities will now be assessed by the board to decide next steps. The long-running trademark battle between Abhishek Lodha-led Macrotech developers and Abhinandan Lodha's House of Abhinandan Lodha escalates, with Macrotech now alleging forgery and fabrication of documents in an attempt to use the Lodha brand name. It's a dividend bonanza for the government as the central public sector enterprises pay a record 74,000 crore rupees in FY25, surpassing the budget's 55,000 crore estimate. Coal India leads the pack, followed by ONGC. And the death toll from the earthquake has surpassed 2,700. Fuel shortages, intermittent communications and power outages further complicate relief efforts. Good evening, you're watching Profit 360 on NDTV Profit and I'm Sanjana. Along the next half an hour, we're going to bring you the latest on markets as well as national and international news. So let's dive right into it, shall we? After a two-day decline, Nifty and Sensex ended the session with strong gains driven by a rebound in banking and IT stocks. At close, the Sensex was up 592.93 points and the Nifty was up 166.65 points. All sectors closed in the green, with realty and FMCG leading the race. My colleague Harsh joining us with more details on this. Harsh, over to you.
Well, overall a very good day of trade. In fact, we breached the 23,300 mark. We've closed, a solid day. In fact, nearly 150 plus points up in trade. So we've reversed in some sort some of the woes that we saw yesterday, led by banks for sure, but you also had participation from IT, pharma, both of which were up around 0.9 odd %. So you saw some bit of churn in that sense, some bit of a bounce back versus yesterday, what we saw in terms of pain in some of these pockets. When you're looking at names, you had within the Nifty 50 basket a trend do well, but the standout was a Tata Consumer and a Nestle on either side. Tata Consumer, on the one hand, was a positive note by Goldman Sachs, and on Nestle, there was a negative note by Bank of America. And therefore, both of those stocks moved in very different directions. But Tata Consumer up 7.5%. That's not every day that we see that. And 20% upside from yesterday's close is what Goldman Sachs sees on this one. Plenty of levers that they spoke about. But, let's talk about sectors now. Of course, we spoke about some of the large cap, but realty within the small cap space and the mid cap space did very, very well in trade. We saw how realty was beaten yesterday, so a very strong bounce back after what we saw yesterday in trade. So relief for those invested in realty. Now, in terms of the advanced decline, well, again, the breadth was very positive in that sense, nearly 3:1 in favor of the advances. So clearly positive in terms of the breadth. There was a bit of choppiness at the start of the day, but that seemed to have evened out, and we closed the day at the very best in terms of where the breadth is concerned. The Nifty mid-cap and small-cap indices also did fairly well for themselves. We saw 1% plus on both the Nifty mid-cap and small-cap, and a late rally saw that both those indices were taken, in fact, higher towards the end of the day. Last off, the BSE 500 top gainers, top losers, some of them dominated by the Q4 numbers that have started to trickle through. And I'm talking about the quarterly updates, the pre-earnings updates that have started to come. Retailers dominate that space, a V-Mart, a V2, a Bazaar Style, even a CSB Bank featured on that list of the gainers. The losers, of course, were also there, and there were plenty of buzzers on both sides.
Meanwhile, the countdown to April 2nd, Liberation Day announcement by US President Donald Trump is almost over. In just a few hours from now, he claims it will mark America's independence from foreign goods. Central to this vision are reciprocal tariffs, designed to mirror the duties imposed by other nations on US products. Now, let me give you a quick roundup, or really a reflection at the moment of global markets. Global markets are on edge. There's uncertainty looming. Wall Street has been volatile, with key indices like Dow Jones and S&P 500 both trading flat in early sessions. We're also seeing the White House confirming that these tariffs will apply universally and take effect immediately. Let's take a look at what's happening in the other countries. In the lead up to the announcement, we saw Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum reaffirming their strong trade and investment ties during a phone call. Meanwhile, in the EU, President Ursula von der Leyen signaled that the EU is prepared to respond with all available policy tools, though she stressed the importance of finding a balanced solution, citing near parity in the trade relationship with the US when goods and services are considered. Let's come back home to India. India's trade policies, including high tariffs on imports, were flagged as key barriers in the US's National Trade Estimate Report for 2025, highlighting growing tensions between India and America. Following the announcement, a 25% tariff on auto imports is also scheduled to begin on April the 3rd. Now, to tell us more about the claims by the United States Trade Representative in this report, how the US perceives these policies and their potential impact on bilateral trade relations, my colleague Malika is going to take us through the top takeaways of this very long report. Malika, over to you.
Right, Sanjana. Of course, as you mentioned, this is a very long report, but it is important to have a look at it because it definitely tells us how US sees India with regards to these tariffs imposed. The first of data that you would see on your screen is that India's average most favored nation MFN tariff rate stands at 17% in 2023, and this is basically according to what America has put out. And MFN, just for your reference, is basically an average tax that a country applies to imports from all other countries now. Second one on your screen you'd see is a range of product that India charges on various products, and this goes as high as 150% for alcoholic beverages, and you see currently is that average tariff of 13.5% on non-agri and 39% on agri goods. Also, let's take a look at some other products that India, applies tariffs on. You would see vegetable oils 45%, apples, corn and motorcycles 50%, automobiles and flowers 60%, natural rubber 70%. There are more products that would come on your screen as well. Coffee, raisins and walnuts 100%, and as I mentioned before, 150%. That's the highest in this particular table. 150% on alcoholic beverages. With life-saving drugs and finished medicines, we charge up to 20%. Now, the next one, this is a big one because India's, So before that, we'll also look at certain other products that India charges high tariffs on. You can see processed chicken, potatoes, citrus, almonds. We will show you more images of other products like pecans, apples, grapes, canned peaches, and chocolate, cookies, frozen French fries. So all of these, products that you would love eating, we transport this to US.